Bob Krugman, 51 years old, from Chicago. I get a flash in my left eye, and I know in about 20 minutes I have to be laying down or somewhere where I could get dark. I get violently ill, vomiting. I get this incredible pounding headache, and it's just totally debilitating. I mean, it just forces me to lie down and not move until I can open my eyes again, basically. But after 20 minutes, I'll lose total vision in my left eye and be totally nauseous and totally debilitated. I've gone through all the testing over a couple-year period. I've taken even a glucose tolerance test. I've taken anything you could imagine through every kind of doctor you could imagine, because it just controls your life, and you're in the fear of getting a migraine and not being able to function in any environment. My migraines were incredibly severe. On a scale of 1 to 10, an easy 10. I mean, it should be more than a 10. I mean, can't drive, can't walk, can't talk. I mean, just totally knocked out, debilitated. I was getting migraines 1 to 3 times a week. Sometimes it'd go a couple weeks, depending on what I was eating. But when it really got bad, it was every 2 to 3 times a week, I'd say. I received treatment about 10 years ago. In the last 10 years, I've had 3 migraines approximately, all related to something I ate that I wasn't supposed to eat. In other words, let's say I ate a hot dog, and that hot dog had the ingredient, and in my case was pork, that causes the problem. I knew I ate that hot dog yesterday, and then I got the migraine from it. There's a place I used to love to eat breakfast and pancakes. I ate there, I got a migraine. I went in the next couple days later, and I asked the waitress, I said, "Do you cook the pancakes near the bacon?" She says, "Oh, that's right next to it, and we use the bacon grease." Obviously bacon's pork, that's what I'm intolerant to, and that's what caused it. But it was easy to narrow it down. What the problem was, it was like self-inflicted. As long as I stay away from it, I don't have one. I probably haven't had a migraine, I'd say 3-4 years right now, once I learned to stay away from that food. My intolerance was basically 3 things, the main thing being pork, the second thing being lettuce, and the third thing being chocolate. But the pork was the real killer. Recently I got a call as a follow-up from the doctor saying he had a procedure, a non-invasive procedure, that basically would balance me in a way where I could now eat the foods that I was intolerant to. I did that procedure approximately 6 months ago, and matter of fact, today for lunch I had salad, which is what I had basically for lunch the last 6 months, because I missed it for so long, and so far so good, no problems. Being free of migraines is totally changed my life. With my business, it was to a point where I didn't even want to go see a customer, because if I got on a plane and I got a migraine, you know, I would have to cancel the appointment. Or what if I was in the appointment and you know, I had one of these attacks? I mean, I thought I was going to, you know, losing my mind basically, and I couldn't expand my business. I'd keep 500 milligram Imitrex in my pocket, in my briefcase, in my car, in my locker, in my golf bag. I was just totally obsessed with the fear that I was going to be attacked by these migraines. Once I was diagnosed and figured out what the problem was, you know, subsequently our business has grown from 1 office and 4 people to 25 people and 3 states and 4 offices, and we did $500 million worth of business last year. So it's totally changed my life. I have 3 young kids now. At 51, got a late start, but it's like not having an arm and suddenly growing an arm. I mean, it's totally 100% changed my life. I would take this Imitrex, which would make me sick to my stomach. I would be totally out of it. I'd also take a Fiornal if the Imitrex didn't work. And, you know, I'd just try to pass out, basically. And once I woke up, where the incredible heavy symptoms were over, my head was like like a bruise, like a giant bruise for 2 to 3 days. And just when you'd get over that, and if you got another migraine, it was just so deflating to have this situation and feel so crummy from the medication, and it just consumed your life. I didn't know what was causing these things. We had an old family doctor who retired a few years ago. Great guy, and the 80 years old, and I mean, wonderful guy. He ran every possible test. He put me in the hospital. He finally took me in the office, and he just said, "Bob," he says, "I can't find anything wrong with you. I don't know what's wrong with you." And I had just come back from a road trip in West Virginia where I got a migraine on the plane. I had to miss an appointment with a customer who came in. We were supposed to play golf. Couldn't do it. It was horrible. I discovered this procedure, like I say, 10 years ago, and lo and behold, it was caused by something I was eating. It was a reaction to something I was eating. And by the way, that particular road trip, I loved going to these Chinese restaurants. Well, I had something that was made with pork, this pork fried rice, and that's what triggered the migraine in that particular case. And once I discovered that it was the food, stay away from that particular food at that time before I was fixed, or balanced, whatever you want to call it. I don't know all these terms, but that's what did it, unquestionably. This treatment, I have no idea what physiologically happens, or whatever word you want to put to it. It works. I mean, you turn on a faucet, water comes out. It works. I don't know how it works, but it unquestionably works. Can you imagine not wanting to go into a restaurant and going out with your girlfriend or your wife or what have you, because you're in this fear that you're going to have this problem, and then you could be an hour away from home and you're going to be sick, and you're going to be in a car, or you're going to be in a public place, you're going to embarrass yourself. I mean, you're totally consumed and plagued by this horrible thing, and then suddenly you don't have it anymore. I mean, it's like being, it's like a new world. The technology to determine what you're intolerant to is very, very simple. They clip something onto 2 of your fingers, like you would go to check your pulse or something of that nature from your finger, and you just sit there and wait for the computer to tell you what's happening. I don't know technically what it does, but it does something, and then it will tell you what is causing your problem. With respect to the process of getting rid of what you're intolerant to, it's basically like a laser. Like, let's say they would put something in your mouth to clean your teeth, except a light comes out instead of water. And you sit in a chair, and it's done on your head and on your back. It takes 30, 40 seconds. And again, I have no idea from a technical standpoint. All I know is that salad I had for lunch was delicious for the last 6 months. Once people that knew me found out that I wasn't getting migraines anymore, it was amazing how many people came out of the woodwork, both friends and friends of friends. Hey, can I do this? And I turned a lot of people onto it. And when they saw it, it was like incredible how simple it was. Like, one person's was caused by onions or something like that, or one person's by grapes, and ate grapes every day, and they're getting migraines like crazy. And it just, once they were told what to stay away from, they stayed away from it. They don't get migraines. One fellow in particular, I mean, he was just at wit's end. I mean, it was literally ruining his wife. It was ruining his marriage. He went and had it done. Matter of fact, I saw him a couple weeks ago, and even to this day, he's just like, "You've changed my life." I mean, if you hadn't referred me to this process, he says, "I don't even know if I'd still be alive today, because I couldn't take it." He was immune to Imitrex, and nothing worked for the guy. And he just, he figured it was something so wrong with him that, he couldn't function, period. If you're getting a migraine, if you've had a migraine, if you're watching this and you know what I'm talking about and how devastating a migraine is, this works. If you want to get rid of your migraines, this works. Don't know how it works. It works, period.